Well, Elon Musk comes out and he puts on his website that he has saved $16 billion. Of course, when you have investigative reporters doing their job, as in this case, the New York Times did, it turns out that they didn't save that much money. In fact, it was something on the order of between $5.5 million and $8 million was the real saving from one big contract. Whatever the case is, however it's divided, they saved very little, that is, over DOGE. But Elon Musk is telling you that they did better. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
DOGE recently posted a list of the government contracts it has canceled on its website, itemizing what it says is $16 billion in savings in what it calls a wall of receipts. Yet an investigation by the New York Times found almost half of those line item savings could be attributed to a single $8 billion contract for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Furthermore, according to the paper, it appears that the DOGE list vastly overstated the actual intended value of that contract. A closer scrutiny of a federal database shows that a recent version of the contract was for $8 million and not $8 billion. In addition,
okay.
It's kind of a,
so this
is that a typo?
Dr. Evil stuff. Yeah.
I think it was a typo.
$1 million.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
In addition, the Times notes that since $2.5 million had already been spent on the contract, it's likely that canceling it saved $5.5 million at most.
Wait, okay, so instead of $8 billion, so instead of $8 billion, it saved $5.5 million. Okay, got it.
Right. And a spokeswoman for DOGE did not respond to the paper's request to explain their accounting. Joining us now, former Biden White House infrastructure coordinator and former Democratic mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu.
You understand, as Ross Perot would say, where the rubber hits the road, where we can talk sort of generally, theoretically about government cuts. We can talk generally, theoretically about waste, fraud, and abuse. And we all want to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. We've spent our lives, I know you have too, trying to find it and get rid of it. But then you talk about these random cuts where, as somebody said, you measure once, you cut 2, 3, 4 times, and suddenly people are really, working Americans are really feeling the impact of these cuts.
Well, this is where you can find out whether somebody is just talking the talk or walking the walk. When I became mayor of New Orleans, 3 weeks after the BP oil spill hit, we had been through Katrina, Rita, Ike, Gustav, the national recession, and the BP oil spill. My government was $100 million in the hole out of a $460 million budget. I had to cut 20% out of a budget in 6 months. I don't know anybody else in the country that's ever done that. But what I found is you better not cut stupid. You got to cut smart, and you got to cut thoughtful. The American public can understand this. Joe, you look like a pretty fit guy. If I told you that you needed to lose 30% of your body weight, and I did it by cutting off your leg, you bleed to death, essentially. So the last thing you want to do is put an unaccountable billionaire bureaucrat in charge where there's no transparency and have them just cut in a chaotic way that's going to affect the lives, the real lives of people. So if you're cutting firefighters in an area where there are fires, or if you're cutting food inspectors, or you're cutting avian inspectors where there's a bird flu, or you're actually starting to cut things that really, really matter in people's lives, people go, what the hell are you doing? I mean, damn it, that doesn't make any sense. And that's what's happening right now. And I think the American people are getting wind of the fact that they're not even telling the truth about what they're trying to do, much less doing it well.
So here it is. We have this group of misfits starting from the top, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who both look like they have some sort of a cognitive problem, going into these organizations that have been in existence for decades and think they can go in with a whole bunch of snotty-nosed kids and clean things up. They can get rid of the fraud. They can't. They could never possibly get rid of the fraud. I tell you what they can do. They can give the belief that they're doing something as they destruct and deconstruct things, so that then the government has to go outside because they've depleted all their experienced people that they've let go. So now they have to go to the private sector, who themselves will just use it as that great opportunity to rip them off and cost more. Remember, anytime you bring the private sector into jobs that were functionally set up to be in the public sector, it costs you more money. And it's not anything complicated to figure it out. It's simple math. Because you have profits, if it's not a nonprofit, because you have to make a profit to pay your shareholders and your executive bonuses, it just doesn't work. If you're going to bring a third party nonprofit, even the nonprofits, let's give an example. At one point, the Red Cross was paying its CEO $500,000, a nonprofit. So there are all these machinations that occur where the private sector rips off the public sector. So if Musk really wants to do some efficiency within the government, what he would do is he would go ahead and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and create Medicare for all. You know what? Let's go ahead and stop all these private companies from using Medicare Advantage as a piggy bank to steal from us. You know what? We can go ahead and reduce the Defense Department to buy a whole lot of off-the-shelf stuff instead of paying excessive prices for them. You know what? We can actually consider having less wars. There is so much, if we really wanted to get our bang for the buck in efficiency, it's not laying off government workers. That's not where the efficiency problem is. The efficiency problem is the policies that rip us off. Medicare, having private Medicare, making Medicare Advantage, having private health insurance, all of those things are the things that rip us off. If you want efficiency, we can find efficiency rather quickly. Let's look into doing that, folks.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.